All right, welcome back to C4 Sports. I just have to play that because I love That's the Fact. That's a bed music option. Just drop it like it's hot. Oh, you guys, I'm the only one with headphones, but I can still hear it.
Oh, no, I definitely know what's going on because when the pimp's in the crib, Ma, drop us like it's hot. That's what you gotta
exactly. So, yeah, the fact that was an option made me very happy. What also makes me very happy, and I know it makes you very happy as well, Darius, is we'll start with the good. The 76ers retired the legend Allen Iverson's number this past week. It was a great ceremony. It was probably, like, when it comes to jersey retirements, the biggest kind of ceremony and build-up I've seen when it comes to a specific player, because I haven't seen that much hype around a single player's getting their jersey retired. It was all over the NBA's Instagram and Twitter account. That was all they were talking about that day. So first, we'll get your thoughts on the ceremony if you did happen to see it. Darius, I'm guessing you can go first because this is your boy right here.
I'm about to say, when you said if you did happen to see it, I knew that was for the panel because y'all know I saw it. There's no way I missed it. Saturday night, I went back to my room, and somehow, Jesus wanted the internet to work that night. That's why I was able to see it because we know the internet sucks here once again. But yeah, I saw the ceremony. I saw the press conference he did afterwards. Very happy for my guy, AI. Like you said, it was very big. The only one I could think of, like, jersey retirements that was, like, any bigger that I've seen myself is when Michael Jordan retired the first time in 93.
I haven't seen that one.
Yeah, and they had, like, a Mara shot. They actually had, like, a separate stage, like it was a Super Bowl halftime. He was standing on it, and they brought out his shoes and all this. I liked some of the people I saw at AI's thing, Pat Croce, who basically ran the team from the point AI got drafted to the year they made the finals. I saw some bums in the crowd who I'm not going to give shout-outs because they're bums. And I mean, he gave them some love in the speech just because they happened to show up, but whatever. I'm happy that he shout out Stephen A. Smith because that's how I first knew who Stephen A. was way back when before he got to ESPN. He used to cover the Sixers as a beat writer. But I liked how they had all his All-Star game jerseys, like in an order from when he first made it, 2000 all the way to 2011. They had all the jerseys there framed. They gave him a boat so he can go fishing. Gave him a WWE belt. They say he's the champion of Philadelphia. So it was a nice moment. I know some people were joking at him, talking about he looked like he was Run DMC.
Yeah, I saw that. I was kind of like, that's Allen Iverson when I saw the pictures. I was like, really?
Yeah, but I just happy for him. Really not too much to say. That's my guy. That's blood as far as I'm concerned. So I'm just, happy that he got his day. Everybody basically focused on him.
I'm definitely glad that he finally got his dues. You kind of compared it to the Michael Jordan retirement thing. You could kind of say that Allen Iverson did as much for the Sixers as Jordan did for the Bulls. Not as far as championship-wise, but, I mean, bringing the attention there. The 76ers were dreadful. I mean, they drafted Iverson with the first pick, so they had to be bad, and he resurrected them. All in about 4 years, they were in the finals with him. So, it's good for him. And people giving him crap about the Run DMC look, he deserves to dress however he wants in that city, as far as I'm concerned.
Well, he is Allen Iverson, and it's known he just doesn't care.
Right.
You were saying Sixers were horrible before Allen Iverson got there, right?
And they were horrible. They were horrible when he first got there too.
Yeah. I'm happy to see that finally. I wish his career didn't end like it did.
Yeah, I agree.
I wouldn't say he was my favorite player, but he was good. I mean, I would love to see him give him a 10-day contract and let him play a couple games at home, or maybe just a 1-day contract, just to play a final game because he probably could still play and be better than what they're getting right now. So, in a boat,
supposedly he likes to fish. So
I would not picture that from Allen
I
Iverson.
definitely wouldn't picture it either. But I guess that's some of that Newport News, Virginia stuff. I guess being from Virginia, I guess he likes being Southern. So
him and Mike Vick, because I know Mike Vick's from the same place as well.
Absolutely.
But for me, I did not see the ceremony. I just saw what was posted on the social media by the NBA. But it seemed good. Allen Iverson is one of my all-time favorite players. He's probably like the most fearless player I've ever seen. Mm-hmm. But 3 things stick out for me for AI. 2 of them kind of a bad thing. 1 of them good. The good is, other than I'd say 2007 LeBron James, these guys are the only 2 to single-handedly bring their team to a finals. And in single-handedly having the worst players around them, they were the two guys to come the closest to come to winning a championship single-handedly. Because in my mind, as far as I know, it's never been done.
Yeah.
I don't think you can say one guy went out there and put the team on his back and won a championship. Not even Jordan. Jordan had a great team around him that was built really well around him. LeBron has had Wade and Bosh and a team built around him in Miami. Even Kobe had Shaq. Kobe then had Pau and even Bynum and Ron Artest at the time for one of them too, and Lamar Odom. So I don't think, other than those two, I don't even think another player single-handedly got his team that far into the playoffs. So that's kind of the good that speaks, and he played terrific in that 0-1 finals. It was just they were completely outmatched, especially they had no answer for Shaq down low. Just Shaq tore him up. But the other two is kind of going off that is he never did get that ring, and I really think he deserved just one. He needed one, I think, really. I've been saying for a long time championships are overrated because it is a team aspect, and like in Allen Iverson's case, he was never really on a championship caliber team. But they do count for something. I think they shouldn't be the only thing because a lot of people will say Jordan's the greatest solely because he has the 6 rings. But if you're going to go off that, then Bill Russell is the best, and that's kind of the only argument I hear. They're not the only thing that matters, but they are kind of, I'd say, the most important in a way. So it kind of does suck that he didn't get one. And I really, just kind of at the end of his career, especially when he got traded to Detroit, when Detroit started to kind of fall off, I was like, oh, no, AI, this is kind of your last chance for one. I got so sad to see that. And I really feel his career, I don't want to say it wasn't validated without a championship, but it feels when I think about Allen Iverson, it feels like it's just missing something because he doesn't have that one championship that he so desperately deserved and I think needed. And I think that's going to kind of, I don't want to say hurt his legacy, but like I said, it's just when I think about him, it's just missing something because he doesn't have that. And the other one is, actually, it's not really a bad thing or a good thing. It's kind of in between. Well, I guess it's more of a good thing. It is kind of like he did bring the Sixers back from the brink, and he kind of changed the culture of Philadelphia. So, yeah, I'd say that's definitely a good thing. He's kind of like a big icon in Philly. He might be the biggest one there out of any of them. And I just think, like, if you don't like Allen Iverson, really, I think you just kind of misjudged the guy. It's kind of like judging a book by its cover in a way, and a lot of people who don't like him stereotype him, and I've been following him pretty closely. I read his book, Only the Strong Survive, back from like 2002, and he's a guy who's been through a lot. Seems like he's a high character guy, and he plays the way I like to play. Maybe he shoots a little bit much for me, takes a couple bad shots, but just the heart he plays with. He's a team leader. He always seems like, I talk about that positive energy. He was never a big trash talker. I'm pretty sure he did trash talk, but he was a guy who was always pumping up his teammates, pumping up himself, and that's what I like to see, is a guy who plays with a high positive energy. That's my type of player, and that's why I love Allen Iverson.
I understand what you're saying, Adam, that Iverson probably did as much for the Sixers as Jordan did for the Bulls. I wouldn't say that, because just for the fact that the Sixers had multiple Hall of Famers and icons before, before AI, because they had Wilt, they had Dr. J, they had Moses, they had Chuck, Charles Barkley. But I'll say, as far as league wide, first of all, Iverson's the only trendsetter I feel like the league has had since Jordan. Like, I feel like if you look at like LeBron, his following, he has fans of his game, but he doesn't have like the same following. Like, Jordan to this day, shoes just sell everywhere. He has when you see Michael Jordan, it's like, oh, you know what I'm saying? Allen Iverson, the same way, just from wearing the arm sleeves, the tattoos, the headbands. It's a whole different type of following. I feel like personally his impact is the biggest one that the league has seen, because he brought in something that really hadn't been seen before. Even players that were more like Jordan brought in, longer shorts in a way, but Iverson brought in baggy shorts. Then players start wearing baggy. Jordan, first All-Star game, he wore a jumpsuit, and that's what kind of why he had the little freeze out moment his rookie year of the All-Star game. But then he started wearing suits. Iverson, as his popularity increased, unlike everybody before him, he didn't start going the corporate America route. He stayed true to who he was, which really is a big point that I respect him for. As far as favorite moments, my favorite game that he ever played was the game against the Lakers, game 1 of the finals, when he dropped 48. Like I always say, I have that game on DVD, and it's on purpose that they didn't put the other 4 games on the DVD, because those games don't matter.
You stole mine, because it's not even just that game. Yeah. What always sticks out with me with Allen Iverson is the shot. Like, my favorite picture in NBA history, he steps over Tyronn Lue after I think he hit like the dagger to put him up by like 4 or 8 points in overtime, and he steps right over him, right in front of the Lakers bench who was yelling at him. Yeah. And that's kind of what sticks out for me when you talk Allen Iverson. That's my favorite moment.
And No, I'm gonna keep going.
Okay.
Yeah, I still have some more.
I thought you were done.
No,
Okay.
No. I am no. Like I said, that's probably my favorite AI game. Let's see, I feel like kind of in a way, Allen Iverson is underappreciated, and I'm gonna say it for this reason. When we look at Iverson, 11-time All-Star, 4-time scoring champ, 3 times led the league in steals, 3 times first team All NBA, and he has a league MVP. But when you think of him, it's kind of like we don't put him. And I'm not saying people around him, because sometimes I feel like even myself, and y'all know I love AI. I feel like just as a whole, he gets underappreciated. And I think because more so people look at how he dressed and they look at, the attitude and how he went out the league, and they don't look at what he actually did. He had an MVP before Kobe ever had one, and they came in the league at the same time. Shaq only has one MVP, AI has one. Like we look at these players that's so much higher than Allen Iverson, when a lot of these accomplishments he got before they got them. Now, of course, they lost to the Lakers, but the Lakers had 2 top 10 players of all time on that team. And they still should have won that series. I'm not going to get into all that. But I don't watch them games, and they should have won that series. I don't care what nobody say. That's the Kemba Mutombo's weak fault, be a defensive player of the year, and he let Shaq light him up. But whatever. Just as a whole, I feel like I said, I feel like he's kind of underappreciated. But I'm happy that, like I said, that he got this recognition. I saw that he can it'll be his Hall of Fame ceremony like 2018, so that'll be like the next time he speaks. You talked about his trash talking and probably being a positive energy dude. I think more people look at him the other way. They probably feel like he was negative.
I think they just stereotype.
Yeah,
that's why,
they do for some
because I actually
points.
watched him, and it all seemed like he was pumping himself and his teammates up.
Well, he always did, I think, pump himself. But I just saw recently, because Larry Brown coaches at SMU. I'm sure, like we all know that. And AI came down and visited, and some of the players asked Allen Iverson, who's the best player to play all time, and he said, "I am." And if I didn't feel that way, there's no way that somebody at my size could have did what I did. So I mean, a lot of that confidence. A lot of that, like I took a lot of from Allen Iverson, and I put that like into myself, kind of like building a robot. You like take like character traits from people. Like I always say, after my parents, I learned more about just life in general from Allen Iverson than just anybody else. That's why I look at him. That's why I always say that's a family member to me. That's blood. Like it's deeper than basketball. So I'm really happy. Like I can't even put it all into words. That's why I'm repeating myself like 4 times like an idiot on this mic. So now I'm just gonna shut up and you go ahead, Adam.
I'll take a look at kind of like, of course he did great things in the NBA, but recently a 30 for 30, I love those things.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
They've come up with this new one, this Requiem for the Big East.
No,
I love the Big East. I mean, I was all for it. I hated it when they broke up.
Yeah, I didn't like that either.
And you could make a case for Allen Iverson doing so much for that league under John Thompson.
Mm-hmm.
That Georgetown team with him and Ewing in those couple of years just had so much swagger, and that's what Allen brought. He had that swagger. He was going to take that big shot. He didn't shy away from the moment. He didn't shy away from the spotlight. And that's what you kind of see with the stars nowadays. They don't want all this negative press about them or them getting their image hurt, but Allen didn't like Stern back then, and he didn't care. I mean, he challenged him every time. And Stern probably wanted to kick him out of the league, but he knew his league wouldn't have been as good without Allen Iverson.
Yeah, and it's the image thing hurts because he'll be known more for people that don't have a great knowledge of the practice.
Yeah.
I think especially we're looking at our generation because we came in late to the Allen Iverson era.
Yeah,
I think.
and that's when I've never been a big NBA fan in like the mid '90s with Jordan, seeing Allen Iverson. When he did that practice thing. I was going like, he sounds so stupid, but then when you watch the game, you see something different. And it's sad that people will know him for that. That's why we talked about it last week. The guy that wrote a paper because he didn't know who Frank Robinson was, Walter. People are just going to know him from baggy clothes, and the practice scene, because that's what YouTube. I don't know how many views that video has on YouTube.
It's got a couple million. I
yeah,
guess.
but something that's probably smart and bad in the sense is he is bankrupt right now, right?
Supposedly. Well, either
But
way, I
he
don't
has-
know
but
if
he
he
has
has
a-
money problems.
He
to
has a
degree.
contract coming up. His shoe was Reebok.
Yeah.
I heard on Sports Center, if I can remember right, that when he turns 50, he gets like $20 million from Reebok.
Really?
He set it up on his last shoe contract.
Not just Reebok, just as a whole. Somebody put like money aside for him that he
Yeah,
can't touch
that
till
he
then.
gets like a, and that's sad. It makes him smart, but it also is sad that you see him with the troubles he has right now financially.
Yeah.
But he has that money. But it's sad to see players like that he's going to have to go through that for a little bit. And there's a reason why he waited to retire, because he did not want Stern at his farewell.
I don't even think it's that. I think he still wanted to play. I think one of us in here said, I forgot who it was, that said that Stern wanted to kick him out the league. Oh, okay, it was you, Adam. I feel like Stern did kick him out. And the thing is, we waited until his numbers went down, because Stern didn't really like him. Now, he said he's had some interviews, and I feel like time heals all wounds, kind of in a sense, because now when you look back at it, they probably don't really have any problems. But you look at when Iverson's popularity was through the roof, it was fighting against what Stern thought the league should be. And when Iverson's production started going down, it's like, okay, it's a chance we can get this guy out of here. And so, because I mean, there's no common sense way you tell me that there's 30 NBA teams and not one team picks him up after he was done in Philly.
The Knicks would pick him up in a heartbeat right now.
Yeah, I mean, they had a chance back then, but they didn't do it. So, I mean, and you know there's GMs out there who, whether they're smart or dumb, they'll get him some money just because he could fill up, just the stands. So, I mean, I feel like Stern definitely played a role in that. Money problems is part of his own idiotic fault, because he took care of everybody that he grew up with, which is dumb on him. But, yeah, that's really – I want to talk about the practice thing real quick. The practice interview – I understand why people, like you said, when you first see it, be like, why are you, like, practice is important, but people see.
I think he was making a point, but they were making it was a joke because they had the practice counter in the bottom.
I just think he said it wrong. He shouldn't have repeated himself so many times.
This is the thing that I see commonly that people fail to understand. His problem wasn't with practice. The press conference was about, was he going to come back next year? Because they had just lost in the playoffs to the Celtics. This is the year after they lost in the year after the finals. So this 2002. They lost to the Celtics in the first round. And there was talks that he might not come back, that he might get traded. So he had a meeting before with the GM, Billy King, and Coach Larry Brown, and they told him he was going to come back. Now, Larry Brown in the past has said that he doesn't go to practice, which, I mean, they kind of knew, because he was going to get traded the year before they made the finals. Like that offseason, they had a deal done with the Pistons already, and Matt Geiger had backed out, and then they made the finals that year. So the press conference, he's calling to say he's going to come back. The reporters start asking him about practice. His problem wasn't with practice. He kept saying it because he didn't understand. Well, I'm not going to say he didn't understand, but he had a problem with, why are we having a press conference about practice? That's why he kept saying not the game. We're not talking about that we just lost in the playoffs. We're talking about practice in a press conference. So it wasn't that he was idiotic to the fact that practice isn't important. He was trying to figure out why we having a press conference about practice when we're supposed to be talking about something that's more important, that I'm still going to be in Philadelphia. And I see that people don't really like put those two together.
That's because they don't. When you watch the video, all you watch is his speech, and it's funny to watch. Like, honestly, I understand what you're saying. Like with the context, you have to take the context into account. But just watching it as a video, it is funny because of the way he said it. I just think that's what it is. He could have said it, I think, better, and that's why people will harp on it. But I've never judged him because of that. I fully understood where he was coming from, and that he made a point. I just don't think he said it in the best possible way, at least for me.